Hello everyone, welcome to Storytime. Today's story is Norah's rhyming novella part 8. Yes, part 8. See what happens in this chapter right after this. Welcome back. So today's story is Norah's rhyming novella part 8. As you recalled in the last chapter, which was a dual chapter, that Norah and Oliver had some really bad news that their mother did not have their baby brother and sister. So we're gonna find out what's gonna happen next in chapter 8. The next few weeks were a blur. Things moved along quite quickly. Everything was different now for this small young family. Norah and Oliver did not go to school for those few weeks. They had things to prepare, and there were days when they felt weak. They would cry, they would laugh, and every day they would get depressed. But Dad was proud of everyone when every morning they got dressed. He hurt too, but he tried to lift everyone's spirits. Anything that kept him busy, he volunteered to do it. Every night for the 2 weeks, Oliver and Norah slept in Mum and Dad's bed. They had nightmares. They didn't want to sleep alone. Sleeping with them eased their heads. Then one night, Norah couldn't sleep. She turned to find Dad had gone. She got up to look for him, wondering if he had left home. She found him in the kitchen, so she went in to talk to him. There was something she wanted to ask, and only he could lessen her feeling of grim. "Hey Dad," she said, "do you mind if I ask you a question? How are you still standing tall? After everything, you should be in deep depression." He just smiled, held her close. "I cannot be unhappy. You and Mom and Oliver are the things that are driving me. Every day to try my best, although I want to be sad too. But if I am sad, then how can I protect and look after each of you? But Dad, you know, I can take care of you, Ollie, and Mom too." "I know," Dad said. "You can later, when it's my turn to be blue. But for now, I need to be the one that is the rock." Dad kissed her head, held her tight, and gave her ice cream from Cold Rock. That was Dad. Go to food. Ice cream soothes the soul. When you're sad, when you're happy, was one of his favorite mottos. And he was right. Ice cream was good. It made her soul feel light. It let her sleep a dreamless sleep when she went to bed that night. That was great for these times. Thinking made her restless. The feelings that she had right now made her feel so defenseless. "Thank you, Dad," she said to him. "I wish I could be as brave as you." "What do you mean? Everyone is brave. We just show it in a different hue." Dad took some bowls, put some ice cream in, and started moving back to the bedroom. "None for you?" she asked him. He smiled. "I'll eat some off Mummy's spoon." They went back. Dad turned on the lights to see Mum and Oliver wide awake. He gave them both some ice cream and sat down behind Mum, making the bed shake. Norah scrambled into bed, sat next to her brother, and started eating ice cream as she stared at their father and mother. "How does he always know?" Oliver broke through her mind. She thought and replied, I don't know, but I like it that he has us in mind." When they finished, Dad took their bowls and tucked them into bed. He kissed them all, touched their brow, and to everyone said, "Off to bed. It's very late. Tomorrow is a very big day. So go to bed so tomorrow so you'll have the strength to say what you want to say. Tomorrow was the funeral for their baby brother and sister, and everyone wanted to talk about the young madam and sir. They had the family staying over, and everyone was sleeping tight. In Nora's room, in Oliver's room, anywhere they could squeeze for themselves in for the night. It was funny, looking at everyone squashed in like sardines. During the day, it was hard to try to keep everything clean. She went to bed, the ice cream helped. She didn't have any dreams, and she was able to go to sleep even in the presence of the moonbeams. The next day, at the funeral, there was not a dry eye, as everyone looked at the twins and said their final goodbyes. The funeral plan for the family was to take them to sea and release the ashes off the cliffs to let their spirits be free. But before then, Dad took out 4 small necklace vials and filled them up with some of the ash before they let the twins take their trials. Around the necks of the family, he placed the new family trinkets. The shapes were all different to match the person's kismet. Dad had wings, Mum was an owl, Oliver star, and Norah a heart. Everyone was completely different. All of them were split in 2 parts. One part was for Madison, and the other part for Charlie. Combined, the trinkets made a whole, which would protect the family. When did you get these things? I didn't see you get them. I had them made a few weeks ago when everyone was feeling mayhem. They're lovely. Thank you a lot. These will always make my day. That I can still carry our babies with me, and that they'll never go away. The family hummed that lullaby and let the ashes go, and watched as the ashes flew in the sky like flakes of snow. They stood at the cliff's edge, watching as each piece disappeared in the sky, and when all the pieces were gone from sight, they let their welled eyes go and started to cry. Tears fell down their faces and chased the twins through the wind. Tears fell down all their faces and chased the twins through the wind. And when night fell on all, Dad began to sing the lullaby Dad sung that night when they all needed power. It was that everyone needed in their darkest hour. And one by one the extended family left until it was just the 4. They waited there for a few hours more before reluctantly they had to withdraw. They got to their car, and on the drive home, Dad got 2 pizzas at the shack by the sea. In their car, they ate it all. They didn't realize that they were that hungry. And as Dad drove everyone home, the car gentle's hum made Norah sleepy. She closed her eyes and nodded off, and she entered a dream world bravely. And that concludes part 8 of Norah's rhyming novella. Please join me next week for part 9 so we see what happened on Oliver's end. You probably would have guessed it all the same. Anyway, until then, I love you. Have a good day. Goodbye.